Hi, thank you for turning up to Tone It Up. I'm Aneequa. I teach Pilates for our parks. Great for stretching, great for the core, great for lower back injuries and all sorts of other stuff, great for breathing. So it's going to be a really, really nice type of exercise to do during this time. So let's get started. We're going to start with our feet in hip distance position. We're going to have our knees slightly bent, hips facing forward, the pelvis in neutral. So do a nice forward tilt and backward tilt and find that midway point. Navel into the spine, shoulders back and down, chin parallel to the ground, and imagine that string pulling you all the way to the ceiling. So we've got our lovely starting posture, nice and aligned. From there, we're going to go into our breathing. So I know it might be a bit repetitive for those of you who have done the class before, but I always like to spend time on it. Hands on the lower ribs. In Pilates, we inhale through the nose into the lower back. Rather than just breathing into the chest, we're breathing into the lower back area. So we breathe laterally. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to take an inhale, really filling up this space here. Imagine that you're filling up a balloon. And on the exhale, you can exhale through the mouth, through pursed lips, like you're blowing out a birthday cake. So we'll go again, deep inhale, filling up the lower back, exhale through the mouth. Get everything out. Inhale, taking all that lovely oxygen, exhale, let it all out. Okay. To add a layer on top of that, we're going to do our core engagement. Again, for those of you who've done the class, you'll know. We do our pelvic floor, engage the pelvic floor first. So it's the hand that's in between the legs, pulling all your organs up to 100%. Really, really nice and pulled up tight, released by a third. Let's go straight in and add that deep tummy muscle. So keep that nice and tight. And now add in your belt or corset under the chest, pulled in nice and tight to 100, released by a third. All of this might go over your head. It comes with time. So for now, just think up and in. So up with the pelvic floor, in with these deep tummy muscles here. Okay. So we've done our breathing, we've done our core engagement. We're going to start with our mobilizations, and then we're going to go into our mat work, and I'll move the computer so you'll have a better view. Let's go ahead and get started with these lovely shoulder rolls. So I'll come a little bit forward now, up to the ears and round. So we're going forwards first. We'll go forwards first, and then we go backwards second so that the shoulders go back in place after. Okay, then let's go ahead and reverse backwards. Okay, let's go into the arms as usual. We're going to do the small circles, keeping the arms at shoulder height, fingers pointed. Keep that nice alignment, that posture, suck the belly in. Again, forwards first. Let's get these arms nice and toned. And also we're getting the scapula, upper back moving as well. Getting everything nice and warm. And then go ahead and reverse backwards. And then as usual, give the arms a stretch. Bring one arm behind. Really stretch that arm in front. Feel that really nice stretch. And then we'll do the other arm. And again. Okay, from there, let's do our twist. And we're going to do it today with the hands on the hips. So we're going to do a thoracic twist to get a nice spinal rotation. Keep the hips facing forward. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, you're just going to twist your upper body. So the torso is twisting and you're keeping the hips forward. Okay. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist the other way. And again, inhale. Think up and in, exhale, twist. Really feel that nice rotation of the spine. We're not going too far back, just wherever feels good to get the spine moving. Let's do one more to each side. On the exhale, twist. And again. Okay, from there, let's go into a squat. Let's have our feet wide, hip distance. Toes are pointing out. Keep that nice up and in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to sit low and raise the arms. You're going to stick the bum out, so you're going to sit really low. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, sit. And again, really sitting low. Keep going. Starting to get really nice and warm. Getting the thighs, the glutes, and the knees, everything warmed up. We're going to do a few more. Inhale, exhale, sit. And again. Let's go ahead and do 5 more, really low. If you've got bad knees, as usual, don't go any further than feels comfortable. And as usual, you know your bodies. If anything feels funny today, you just leave it out. And I'll try and give modifications as well. There we go. Okay. From there, let's just go into a quick balance exercise. So we're just going to bring the knee up. Think about that core engagement, the navel into the spine, and you're just holding the knee up. Toes pointed, bring the knee up higher, challenge yourself. Really nice. I can see lots of high knees. Really, really nice and tall. I'm not going to make you hold it for too much longer. And then let's go straight into the other leg. And again, if you can see your own reflection when you're doing this, think about looking at your hips. Are they level? If not, bring them level. If your shoulders don't look level, try and level them out. And all these little corrections over time, they can make a big difference in your posture and your alignment. I'm just going to hold this one for a little longer. Perfect. Okay, cool. From there, let's go straight ahead and do some ankle rotations to get the ankles nice and warm, and then we'll do our roll down. And I think today I'm going to make you do all the difficult stuff first, and then we'll go into some of the nicer stretches. So it's better that way. You know what you've got to look forward to. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the roll down. So as usual, you're going to come to the end of your mat now, into that same starting position. Feet hip distance, soft knees, hips forward, navel to the spine, shoulders back and down. Take a really nice deep inhale through the nose. On the exhale, you're going to bring the chin to the chest. Keep that chin tucked in, slowly melting forward. Rolling down. Keep the legs straight if you can. Otherwise, bend the knees. If you have lower back problems, especially bend the knees and just hang there wherever feels good today. Keep the arms floppy. Shake the head no. Nod the head yes. And then use that exhale in your own time. You're just slowly curling back up, one vertebrae at a time, really slowly. And the head is the last thing to come up. And we're going to do that same thing again. So take an inhale, exhale, chin to chest. This is the nice, enjoyable bit, so you can really enjoy that lengthening of the spine. Tuck the chin in. Keep that chin tucked and roll all the way down. Again, exhale, coming back up, really nice and slow. Always a really nice stretch to do first thing in the morning. Head comes up. Let's go ahead and do the last one. I'll let you do it in your own time. Just take an inhale. Exhale, bring that chin to the chest, tuck the chin in, and slowly start to melt forward. And this time you're going to come to a crouching position when you finish, and I'm going to move the computer. So go ahead and roll all the way down and come into that crouching position. Okay. When you're down here, we're just going to, you're going to be on your toes in this kind of frog-like position. You can have your hands on your mat. Keep your hands on the mat. Take an inhale, exhale. You're just going to stretch the legs. You don't have to stretch them all the way straight, just wherever feels good. And then back down. And then again, exhale, the legs stretch up. We're just going to do a few of these. Again, if you've got problems with your feet, you can keep both feet down and you can just kind of come up and down like this. Otherwise, again, this is really an exercise where you're only going to your own range of movement, whatever feels good, but also to have a good stretch and to push it a little bit as well. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then we can come to sitting. Okay. From here, let's do our head and neck stretch. So you're going to sit up nice and tall. Really, really nice posture here. Piece of string pulling the head up all the way to the ceiling. So think about the up and in, the navel into the spine here. Let's do our head and neck. So look down, slow semicircle one way and then the other. And then let's do our head, our shoulder stretch. So head, one hand on the head, other hand on the shoulder. Take an inhale, look down, exhale, pull the head away. You're really looking down this time. And then let's go again, look down. Okay. Let's take a nice side stretch here. So take an inhale, one hand comes down on the mat. The other hand is going to reach overhead. Keep both bum cheeks on the mat and just have a nice stretch here. And then switch sides. Really move the hand that's on the mat even further if you want to get a good stretch. Feel that nice side body stretch. Let's do one more on each side. Very nice. And again. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I did say we were going to do the harder exercises first, but I'm going to give you options. So let's start with a cat stretch. That'll be my nice way of getting you warmed up into it. So let's come into the cat stretch position. Normally this is one I like to end with, but we're going to start with it today. So the crown of the head's pointing forward. You're looking down at the mat. Fingers are spread, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. The back's a nice strong table. Suck the belly in, think up and in. So let's go straight into the cat to begin with. Take an inhale, tuck the chin in and arch the back. Exhale, reverse, stick the head in the air. And again, inhale, really tuck the chin in and arch. Exhale, reverse. Let's do a couple of these. Okay. From there, I'm going to give you options. So you can either, the very basic option is you're going to stay in this position and you're just going to tap the opposite shoulder with your hand, and you're going to do it 5 times on each hand. But you're really trying to just be aware that nothing else is moving and the core is engaged, the belly button sucked in all the way to the spine. We're trying to keep that nice posture, the hips are stable. So that's number 1. But hopefully none of you are going to do that. Number 2, you're going to keep that same posture. You're just going to bring the knees up. So the knees are now off the mat. The rest of the posture stays the same. Suck the belly in. We're really using the core here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either you can stay there, or you can come, for the next 5, you can come into the plank, which is the final version. So you're going to come into the plank. Again, the crown of the head is forward. And we're going to do the same thing. Really have an engaged core here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So whichever option you're doing, you can I'm just going to ask you to do another 5 in whichever option that you're choosing to do. So I will do the middle version. So almost like you're in that same cat stretch, but just raising the knees. 1. Really suck the belly in. So really think about that core engagement. Think about those nice strong arms, keeping everything else still. And then when you finish your last one, you can come into a lovely child's pose, but we're not going to hold it too long. So Sit on the heels, knees are wide, feet together, head to the mat, extend the arms forward. Stretch the fingers further forward, really lengthen that spine. And then you can come back up. And the next exercise we're going to do is a roll up and down with straight legs. So the usual roll down that we do is we sit up nice and tall, we have our knees bent, the palms are usually facing each other, and we roll all the way down. So if you want to, you can do that. You can stick with that version. Some people find this version harder. Some people find it easier than the version I'm going to show you. So I'll let you pick. Otherwise, you engage the core and use that core engagement to roll down. Full body is stretched, so stretch the arms behind, the legs in front. And then the difficult bit, you're going to bring the knees up. Then the arms float in front, and then you're using that core to roll all the way back up, keeping the feet where they are. So you can either do those. Otherwise, go ahead and stretch your legs straight. Some people do find this easier, so whatever works for you, so long as you're having a challenge, you're really using the core and doing it with a really controlled movement. You're going to sit up nice and tall, keep the legs straight, palms facing each other. Exhale, use that core. Try and keep the feet where they are. Flex the feet, in fact, so that the toes are kind of pointing upwards, and then roll down. Arms extend behind. Full body stretch, exhale. Then the arms float back with the palms facing each other. And you're using the core, keep those feet flexed. You're using the tummy muscles to roll all the way back up. So whichever option you want to do is fine. Let's go ahead and we're going to do 5 of those. So when you're ready, whichever option, exhale, engage the core. Use the core to roll down rather than the momentum. And the same for coming back up, knees, arms. Use that core to come back up. If you want, you can always grab a cushion or a ball or something here, but I don't think we need to. So let's go for our last 4. And then the knees, arms. Last 3. Really stretching the arms behind and the feet in front, and then the knees come. The arms, use the core, really using those core muscles to come all the way back up. Let's do the last couple. Remember, you're exhaling as you come down into the stretch. Inhale, come back up. Let's do one more. Okay. So hopefully you've done your last one now. So we're going to come onto the back. You're going to lie on your back. So the important thing is to make sure the lower back is flat on the mat. The knees are in tabletop, which means the knees are above the hips and the toes are pointed, feet are hip distance. And in fact, we're going to start with let's start with toe taps, and then we're going to go into the pendulum. So toe taps, you know this one. In fact, today we're going to, instead of tapping the toe, let's do heel taps. So engage the core, suck the belly in. When you're ready, you're bringing one leg down. And remember, rather than just bringing it down here, you're kind of extending forwards a little bit as well. Hold for 1 second in tabletop, and then bring the leg down. So when you're extending the leg slightly forward as well as bringing it down, you're going to feel it more in the tummy. And as usual, if you want a progression, come up into a bit of a crunch and do the same thing. You'll feel it a bit more. Just make sure it's really using your tummy and you're not feeling it in the head and neck. So whichever option you want to do is fine. And remember, we're trying it with the heels today, extending forward. Palms of the hands are facing down on the mat, so you can almost grip them, grip the mat, and you're using the tummy just to do this exercise. Inhale as the legs come back into tabletop. Exhale as you do these heel taps. Keep going. Let's go ahead and do 3 more on each side. Really want you to feel this in the tummy. So you're really extending forward. Tap. Okay. When you've done the last one, hug the knees. As usual, just circle the knees around the chest one way and then the other. Okay, then we're going to go into the Pilates pendulum. So this time you can keep the feet together, keep the legs in tabletop, and if you remember this one, the knees are just going to come, they're coming kind of down to the side, but they're also coming a little bit sort of away from you as well. So you really feel it in the tummy. Back to center. So you're dropping the knees from one side to another, the feet stay together, but you're really using the core engagement rather than just bringing the knees one way and then the other. And also make sure the lower back is really, really flat on the mat. And you can really, really feel it in the core if you're doing this exercise correctly. So think about up, in, navel into the spine. Let's just do a couple more. Okay, perfect. Very nice. From there, we're just going to do a few leg circles in the same position. We're just going to do 6 on each side. So you're going to keep one leg bent. So I'll keep this leg bent. The other leg, in fact, I'll keep this leg bent. So you can see, I'm going to keep this leg bent. The other leg comes up straight with a pointed toe, straighten the knee as best as possible, but make sure the lower back is flat on the mat. So the lower back isn't raised, the lower back is flat. And what you're going to do is on the exhale, you're going to scoop and you're doing circles with that leg. But you really, again, should be feeling it in the tummy. It's almost when we do the upswing of this circle. They're kind of very large circles, but you're really trying to keep the rest of the body still, really using that core to help you do this exercise. You can go ahead if you want to do 3 on each, 3 in one way and 3 the other way, that's fine, just to keep yourself balanced. And then when you've done your last one, you can go ahead, keep the other knee bent, and we're going to do the same with whichever leg you haven't done. So keep the toe pointed, keep the other leg bent, and we're doing these circles all the way down, really almost swinging the leg, but very controlled and using that core engagement. Keep the leg as straight as possible to create these big circles. The lower spine stays flat on the mat. So again, if you want to do 3 in one direction and 3 in the other, then that's fab. I'll see how you ladies and gentlemen are getting on. Very nice. Everyone looks very relaxed. That's good. Okay, perfect. From there, let's go into our double leg stretch. We're just going to do 6, and then we're going to move on to side lying. So legs back in tabletop, engage the core, the last little core burner before we move on to the other, the side lying. So toes are pointed, and we're just going to extend back to tabletop. Inhale, exhale, extend. We're just going to do a few of these. And remember, this exercise is almost about reaching forward rather than up. It's kind of at this angle, and you're using that tummy. But we're only going to do 6, so it's fine. You might have already done 6 by now. It's a notorious thing that Pilates teachers can't count, so I'll let you off the hook. And then we're going to go into a nice stretch called opening and closing the book. So It's almost like the one that we do when we drop the knees one way and look the other way, but we're not going to do that. So in fact, come onto your side. This is a nice little stretch. Bring the head to the mat, so get comfortable. Have your knees bent as if we're going to do the clamshell exercise, but you're going to have your hands together instead. And the arms are straight, like this. It's kind of at chest level. Head is on the mat. What we're going to do is you're going to take an inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to open the book. Keep the head on the mat, but the head is rolling to the other side, and the body is, the torso is stretching to the other side as well. So you're opening the book, and then you're going to take an exhale. The arm comes back to close the book. So we're just opening and closing. Remember to keep the head on the mat as best as possible. This should feel like a nice stretch of the upper back. And then you can go ahead, let's do a couple on the other side. So again, head is on the mat. Have to make sure these stay in. Knees are bent towards you. Hands are closed at chest level. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the head on the mat. Upper body stretches as you open the book. And then you're rolling back to close. Let's just do a couple more here. And again, let's just do one more. Okay. So when you've done your last one, I'm going to just ask you to do one more thing before we do our cool down stretches. And that is, we're going to repeat the exercise we did at the beginning of the class to see if it's any easier than it was at the beginning. So you might even want to go up a level in terms of the option that you had chosen. So back into the good old cat stretch. And from there, you can bring your knees, prop the toes up and bring the knees up. Let's do our final 5. So this time, either do the plank or do the knees up for cat stretch. And let's do the final 5. Engage that core, suck the belly in, and we're doing those 5 taps onto the opposite shoulder. It should feel kind of easier now. Inhale, exhale as you tap the shoulder. Try and keep the rest of the body straight. And we're just going to do your 5. Just 5, make them good ones, and then we're going to come into lovely cool down. So hopefully that felt a little bit easier this time. Okay, let's have a little stretch before we go on to the back from here. We're going to do a stretch where we go from the cat, almost like you're going to come into child's pose, but not quite. So we're just coming up. In fact, you can have the front of your feet flat now. We're just going to go almost from cat into child's pose, but not quite. I'm going to do a couple more of these. Let's do one more. Okay, perfect. Everyone's done a really good job today, despite these horrible plank things I've made you do. Okay, let's go on to the back and do our cool down. We'll start with the number 4. Lower back flat, ankle on the knee. Really pull that thigh in and stretch. And remember what I say, like on the exhale, you can bring that thigh in closer. And every time you do this exercise, you can challenge yourself further by bringing that leg in, that thigh in even closer towards you. Feel that stretch from the glute all the way to the knee, the outer thigh. Give it one last pull. And then let's go ahead and switch. Other ankle on the opposite knee. Pull that leg in. Last few seconds, just pull that leg in even closer. Let's get ready for our hip flexors. Soles of the feet together. Get comfy now. Time to unwind so that feet are touching each other. Knees are wide, feet together. And all we're going to do is get comfortable and imagine that the knees are pushing, that you're pushing your knees all the way down. So you're really opening out the hip flexors. Let's just push. And breathe, inhale through the nose. Now you can just breathe. You can do belly breathing here rather than into the back of the ribs, just belly breathing. Still enjoying all that oxygen, that lovely air. And getting more oxygen in than usual rather than just breathing shallow in a shallow way like we normally do. But remember, on the exhale, feel like you're pushing the knees down. So just opening out this area. Then go ahead and stretch the legs. Time to get comfortable. Let the feet fall where they want to fall, palms face upwards. And now we just want to feel that our bodies are really heavy, really, really heavy feeling, all the way like you're just melting into the ground. Eyes are closed, jaws relaxed. Clear your mind, just have a pure relaxation all the way from the top of your head, down the body, into the end of the toes. So just feel really, really happy that another session is done. It went so quickly today. I know it always goes quickly for you because you're having such a good time doing my classes. But you should feel really good that you've done this stretch. It's Wednesday, hump day as they call it. Nice way to start the day, midweek. Means it's a little closer to the weekend. Feeling healthy, feeling like you've done something great for your bodies today. Slowly turning to one side. And we're going to do our final posture check. So you're going to come up to standing nice and slow. I'll give you a little bit of time to do that without getting a head rush. Okay, let's do our final posture check and see how we're all feeling and doing. Starting position again, feet hip distance, soft knees, hips facing forward, pelvis in neutral, navel to the spine, shoulders relaxed and down. Chin is down, imagine that string pulling you nice and tall. Hands on the hips, let's do those heel raises now. Inhale, suck the belly in, exhale up nice and tall. Feel that tall, improved posture, nice and long. Inhale, exhale up again. Elongated bodies, nice and stretched. And then we're going to do one more and hold it. Take an inhale, exhale up. Hold it there on your toes. As usual, keep the head where it is. Imagine the head stays there and lower the heels while the head stays there and feel that full stretch of the spine. And again, another session is done. Thank you so much. Everyone has been wonderful. Everyone's done a really, really good job. And I can see lots of nice planks and stuff happening, so well done. And I will see you again bright and early on Monday at 7:30. So enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great day. You're all my favorites. Thank you so much.